Premier Heating and Air has rebates on new units starting at $1,000. Indoor air quality products are free with the purchase of a new unit, and all types of financing are available for new units and for repairs. Premier Heating and Air, a locally owned and operated company. Log on to dublin.premierishere.com or call 478-300-2633. And for a limited time only, enjoy a one-time exclusive offer for new customers with our dispatch fee waived on your next repair. So call or log on today. Premier is here.
Welcome everybody. I'm glad to have with me today Michael Snipes. And Michael, you've been on before, but we're out here at Oconee Fall Line, and then we're going to head on out to the landfill on Old Hawkinsville Road here in just a little while. And we're going to talk about compost and probably some other things.
That's right.
But tell us, you got a lot of people here from all over Georgia, Tennessee, different places. What exactly is going on?
We're proud to be the host today of Georgia Compost Connect, which is it's the second event that's been held by the Georgia Composting Council, which is the newly formed state chapter for the U.S. Composting Council. And we've just got a lot of people from around the state and actually around the country that are here to talk about compost. It's people that have compost operations, permitting facilities or operations. We have folks here from EPD as well, and just here to talk about all things compost.
Yeah. I asked you a question a while ago about, we were talking about the hurricane and all this compost, all this stuff we had, and it all ended up at the landfill except a little bit in East Dublin, didn't it?
That's right.
So what happens to that?
We actually used the material that came from the debris from Hurricane Helene. We used that, we diverted it from the landfill. We did end up with about 100,000 cubic yards of woody debris, but we diverted it out of the landfill and we used that material as reclamation project. You can use it for reclamation and erosion control. And we had some borrow pits at the landfill that we had used for soil for daily operations and cover and such as that, and construction projects in the past, and we were able to reclaim that area with that mulch that came from the debris.
Okay, we're showing our viewers right now video from that compost out at the landfill. Tell us what we're looking at here.
Okay. Here at the compost site, you're seeing a combination of things. The woody material that comes in, we use that as our carbon. We blend that with food residuals that are collected in different operations around the state. A lot of it coming from the Atlanta area, where people are very focused on food residuals collection, but we also handle all of the biosolids that are generated at the City of Dublin wastewater treatment plant. We compost all of that material, and so what you're going to see here, or what you're looking at here, is the actual blending of that material. We accept the material in, we mix it, build windrows with the wood waste and the biosolids themselves, and then we'll turn them with a windrow turner. After we turn them for 15 to 30 days, somewhere in that range, we'll turn it a minimum of 5 times with the windrow turner. We will take samples, test this material, and make sure that it passes all of the criteria that's required by the state of Georgia for it to be certified as, good, clean compost. And then you see it move over here to the screening operation, and this is where we screen it. We get all of the oversized material out of it, and we make a very good product at the end of the day that is suitable for bagging. We sell it in bulk. We sell it to citizens in the community, and sell it for $35 a ton. We'll load it for you.
Wow.
But it is, like I say, it's suitable for bagging. We just choose not to have a bagging operation.
Yeah.
We just sell it in bulk.
Yeah, just dump it on the truck and go
That's
back
right.
home, do your work. So who is, what agency checks up on y'all and makes sure you're doing your job?
Okay, we are regulated by the Georgia Environmental Protection Division. So we have a full solid waste handling permit associated with the landfill itself. And so because we have a landfill, we also have a full solid waste handling permit associated with our compost operation. So we fall under EPD guidance.
I always love to ask this question, but how far out is our landfill going to take care of us in Lawrence County?
Our remaining capacity right now, the life of the landfill is estimated to be 100 years. And
Wow.
so
Are you going to retire before then? Or are you
I
going to
plan to hang it up before then. I certainly do.
be like some of these characters in the Bible living 800 years? But yeah, 100 years. I just love every time we've done a show, for some reason, people key in on that, and I'll be around town and they'll say, did I hear that right? Did he say 100 years? And I said, yeah, I'm telling you. I said, they on top of things.
That is correct.
And, you know, there's so many counties that don't even know what to do. You know, no matter where they want to put a landfill, the citizens sue them, they fight them over it, and they don't know what to do with their trash.
That's right.
So this didn't just happen, did it?
No, this has been a lot of planning that took place a long time before I got into the picture. The planning for the Lawrence County landfill started in 1991 with Subtitle D regulations coming out of the federal level, and the landfill opened in 1996. The life of the landfill at that time was not projected to be 100 years, but we have been very diligent in everything that we can to save space, because we do know how much is involved in permitting a new facility, and we don't want to have to go through that. And so hopefully what we've done is look after future generations. Hopefully technologies will continue to improve, and waste will be, I don't think it'll ever be eliminated. I think that's wishful thinking, but at least it can be reduced. And all of the waste that we can reduce that goes into the landfill extends the life of the landfill. You have a finite amount of space that you can use at the landfill, a volume, and everything that we can keep out of that space means that we can put some other waste in it, and that just extends the life of the landfill.
Is it really, you know, you never know what is just said over and over till we believe it. You know, some of them stories, even with us growing up, so them fish stories, you know, that fish got bigger and bigger the older we got. But these plastic bags we get at the grocery store, is it true they're always here? Will they dissolve? Will they disintegrate?
They are going to be here. They are not going to break down. And those bags are a nuisance. I really wish we could find a way. That's one of the biggest problems that we have, because they are so light, they are so flimsy. They get blown. They blow out of the back of people's vehicles if somebody's driving to the landfill, and they litter the side of the road. When they get to the landfill and they dump them out of the truck, we have problems with them blowing. We have litter fence up to catch it, but they still, some of them get away, they get hung into trees. And the plastic bags are one of the worst things for us to have to deal with, truthfully, but they will be here forever for all intents and purposes.
That's what I read. It's just, they got to be a better way. Personally, I like the older days when we had them paper bags.
Yes.
And I used to get them at Kroger. I'd ask for paper bags. Lately, I've not been able to get one, but to me, that's the best way to do it. I guess it was a cost thing. You can probably buy them plastic bags for little or nothing.
I'm certain that you can, but it's ironic that you say that, because one of the presenters that's already presented at the activities this morning, and will be present at the landfill, was talking about compostable packaging. And compostable packaging would actually allow for that material to be thrown into the compost pile rather than into the landfill, or to have to go to the recycling operation. And so it does give some options, whereas the plastic bags, they may or may not be recyclable, but people can't get their heads wrapped around how much it would take to make a saleable volume of those bags. So compostable wares for single-use items would definitely be an option that folks could look at, and we can handle it here at our landfill because we do have permits in place for that composting operation.
The ladies in our church, my mom was one of them many years ago, 15 years ago, would all meet at the church on, I'm gonna say Saturday, I don't really remember what day it was, but they would save and people would bring their plastic bags to the church, and they would make things out of it, mats and different things they could send. They sent it to Haiti and places like that.
That's right.
And if some little ladies from the church can do it, seem like, it's like tire rubber.
Yes.
We're seeing it in flower beds and all kind of things it's being used for.
That is correct.
So they gotta be a better way, don't they?
There is definitely a better way, and there are uses. There are things that can be done. The problem is having the infrastructure in place to collect those materials, and you're also relying on the consumer, the end user, to collect them and separate them so that we can do something with them.
And that's a problem. I watch people at the recycling center put stuff, you want it in the right bin, because somebody else has got to touch it.
That's right.
And then the next person's got to touch it. Growing up, you and I, not many years apart, but we'd have old batteries sitting on a pallet out behind the barn. We literally changed our oil over the ditch, had no idea what we were doing. Once we figured out what we were doing, you wouldn't dare do that kind of thing now. We didn't realize it was going in the water supply.
That's right.
And I remember planes would fly over, if you may remember this. And
Indeed.
they, like pellets or stuff, where they would hit us coming down. And I asked my dad, "What is that, Dad?" He said, "That's for fire ants." I said, "What's fire ants?" We had no idea what fire ants was.
That's right.
But it was not a good thing to be doing, so
That's
eventually
correct.
they cut it out. So we live and learn, don't we?
Yes, we do.
But the batteries, of course, you get a core credit if you take it. I just got a lawnmower battery, took my old battery, they knock whatever they knock off, but you're disposing of it right. But let's say somebody watching farm or whatever, just throwing them old batteries behind the barn, can they bring them to the landfill?
We will take them. We do not recommend it. We will take a battery, a lead acid battery, at the landfill for recycling. Lead acid batteries are not legal to dispose of in the landfill. There is a better use for them. And the batteries cause a huge issue, and I'm glad you touched on this, and this is something that we really want to get the word out to the public to understand this. The lead acid batteries have been preached for a long time. You do take them back, you do get a core refund back when you purchase a new battery, and they're just dangerous to dispose of, and they're not legal to dispose of in the landfill. But the new thing, lithium-ion batteries, cell phone batteries, those things, there's no regulations in place yet to handle that. And the problem that we're seeing with lithium-ion batteries are landfill fires. And so even something as small as a cell phone battery, you would be amazed at how hot a fire it will start and how fast it will do it. And I wish I had it with me. I had one that I did a presentation on, and I used I took the cell phone apart. If you take, and mine happened to be an Android, it doesn't matter what type it is. If you take that phone apart, and if you peel and nobody does this.
No.
And then you take the paper layer that's underneath the cover, because you've destroyed the foam when you get to this point. But if you peel that paper layer back, then you see the battery. At that point, when you see the battery, you see the small insignia that says dispose of property, do not throw away. So people don't realize, people don't know what it can do, but it is amazing when that cell phone battery or lithium ion battery shorts out through a mechanical defect, which is going to happen to it if it shows up at the landfill. It is an instant fire that is unbelievably hot, and it will ignite these items that you would not normally see. Obviously they're flammable, but you wouldn't think about them catching on fire. But when you put something equivalent to a blowtorch on them, they'll ignite them. And so they're causing landfill fires, they're causing fires in garbage trucks, and they are a huge issue, and we need to be sure that we're disposing of those batteries properly.
Man, I tell you, I wasn't expecting that answer. Did y'all hear what Michael just said? That is so dangerous, and how many people just throw them in the trash bag in the kitchen, get through, zip it up, throw it at the, but you know, I would suggest to people, like Kroger and Walmart, I think, they got a machine there, it'll give you money for your phone.
That's correct.
That to me, I'm not promoting any particular person, but to me, that would be the best thing to do with it.
Yes, absolutely.
At least some monetary, something out of it, and then you're not causing these fires at our landfill. These people take care of it, but it's our landfill.
That's right.
We don't want those kind of things happening. So anything other than what I suggest, these places where you can sell them, any other way that you suggest that we get rid of them?
I think that is the best way right now. I think that, and I'm not sure, but I believe that Home Depot has a recycling program for batteries, I think. But yeah, you're right. I mean, we need to, if you get a new cell phone, take your old cell phone back. And if you can get some money for it, that's great with the buyback program. But just be aware that it is an issue and a problem. And unfortunately, the manufacturers and the people that are selling these items aren't letting us know, letting John Q. Public know. So it's not that the public is doing something wrong, is that they're just not educated on this.
Know. I didn't know till a minute ago, and I'm sure some of you are sitting there. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's amazing, and you don't realize it until you look. But if you crack that battery case open and water gets in contact with it, it starts the ignition. Well, if you've got it in a landfill and you run over it with a landfill compactor or a bulldozer or something like that, or if it cracks inside the truck when they're bringing the truck to the landfill, that battery cracks. Obviously, there's other items in there that are wet, and that causes the fire, and that is the problem. And they are a big problem.
Has it ever started a fire while it's on the back of the truck taking it to the landfill? Has fire started in those vehicles?
Yes.
That's not good.
They have had those type fires have occurred. Not just here, all over.
That's not good.
And it's not good. And the thing that you hope is that the driver realizes he has a fire, and he can unload the load so that the fire department can handle, the fire. You can manage it that way, and hopefully you do that and you don't lose a truck.
Wow. Okay, what about, I got a new laptop. I don't know what to do with my old laptop. I'm not going to go throw it in the recycling center. And I knew I was going to see you today, so I'm trying to get some free advice here. And you may be sitting there saying, you got old laptops or computers or whatever, keyboards, computers. What do we do with them?
You actually can bring those to the recycling center in East Dublin.
Okay.
Now, not the convenience centers throughout the county, but if you will bring it to us, Broad Street, 505 Broad Street in East Dublin, we are set up to do electronics recycling. We will handle that for you, bring it to us, tell us, we'll put it in. We segregate those into different types of materials, and we have a company that comes in as we generate a load, and they pick these materials up and they take them for recycling. So yes, that would be the way to properly get rid of that, and that takes care of your lithium-ion battery in that laptop as well.
I don't live that far from that one. I always forget about Broad Street, and then you or Ralph get on, and then, you know, I say, ding, 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 you know, why do I forget that? So I want to take it a step further. What do these companies, you recycle them, what are they used for? They
typically shred these materials up. They'll shred this product up. They will break it down, sort it into the different recyclable materials. The precious metals that are inside the computers, the televisions, any of the electronic stuff, they will take those precious metals, but they're also recycling the plastic, the case, they're recycling the glass and the screens, etc. And they do a very good job at those facilities of taking those back to the different materials that they're manufactured out of, and they sell those materials then to a manufacturer that puts them back into a new laptop.
Right. So. Cardboard. Now, in the recycling centers, they've got a chute or whatever, a bin to put cardboard in, but then I see cardboard being thrown in the whatever, just pull up and throw cardboard in whatever you want to. That should be a no-no, right?
It should be a no-no. We place bins at all of the convenience centers for cardboard collection. We ask that the citizens break those cardboard boxes down to assist the assistant at the convenience center, but that cardboard comes to us at the recycling building on Broad Street, and we sort it. If it's clean, cardboard load only, we don't have to sort it. It cuts down on manpower on our end. But we bale that, and then all the cardboard that we are able to collect and bale, we sell directly to West Rock. So we're keeping it local, and we're helping to feed one of our local industries.
Okay. People are dumping it in these other dumpsters, I'll call them. What kind of problems that create for y'all when it's not where it goes?
The biggest problem with it going in the wrong bin is that we're losing the opportunity to help feed the local industry. Yeah. That's the biggest problem. The second problem is this is a recyclable commodity that does have value in an industry that is here, that is supporting our local people, and it's taking up space in that landfill. So if we can get those materials that we can easily recycle, which is cardboard is the easiest one that we have available to us. And if we do get those materials out of the landfill, we're saving airspace in the landfill. That extends the life of the landfill, and hopefully before I do retire, I can tell you we have 110 years instead of 100.
Yeah,
so
I like that. So the cardboard is thrown in with other dumpsters that wasn't put in where it was recycled. When you don't have the manpower, I wouldn't think. I'm not trying to answer the question, but if you see it in the landfill, you don't have the manpower to pull it out, do you? I mean, it's done by then.
By the time it gets to the landfill, it is commingled with the rest of the waste,
taking up space.
and taking up space. But if it makes it to the landfill, it's at the landfill, and it's not a way for we just, like you said, we don't have the manpower to sort it out at the landfill. We do have the manpower to sort it at the recycling facility in East Dublin.
Right.
So it can be commingled in with the single stream recycling. But if it goes in the trash truck and or the bin, it's going to the landfill and it's being disposed of.
And of course, if we throw in our cell phones in there, then the cardboard catches on fire. It causes the other stuff. I mean, and before you know it, you got a major fire.
That is correct. That is correct.
And that cannot be good we talk about EPA or EPD, they can't be good for us to be breathing that in.
Oh,
We're
absolutely.
downwind, we're whatever, you know.
That's right.
And of course, being out in the country, we burn a lot, not stuff like that, obviously, but limbs and different things. And my doctor asked me one time, he said, James, do you know what you're breathing in? I said, yeah. It was tree limbs and it was shrubbery and some stuff. He said, no, you don't need that going in your lungs.
That's right.
Anything like that.
That's right.
That's why you want to stay, whichever way the wind's blowing, you want to stay on the other side. So when you was talking about that, I thought, oh my goodness, can you imagine? And you could be 20 miles away, and according to how that wind's moving, you could be 20 miles away and be in hell in that.
That's correct. We maintain a very small, we refer to it as the working face, but the exposed waste face at the landfill is kept small, and it's kept small to keep it manageable, and it is kept that way so that we can handle a fire if we have a fire, and we can handle it quickly. We had one that was, the picture ended up on the front page of the paper because it was very visible from the road, and I was very pleased because they commented in the article, they gave the time that the call was made and the time that it was extinguished. And we were somewhere like 2 hours and 10 minutes that we were off site. And so the employees at landfill are trained, and they do a very good job when something like this happens, but you still don't want to see it happen. It is dangerous. And back to the batteries, you can tell if it's a battery fire. All of my guys know exactly what it smells like. You know what started the fire. And so we're very aware of it, and we're very careful about how we fight these fires. And we don't have many. It sounds like, you know, we have a pandemic of fires going on, and we don't. But when we have one, it's all hands on deck.
Yeah. One's too many.
Yes, absolutely.
One's too many.
Absolutely.
You dabbled at it just a little bit there, but last thing, you're only as good as your people, any organization. I don't care what
Yes.
you're running, watermelon stand, you know, landfill, TV
That's right.
station, whatever. Brag on your people before we go to break.
I would put the employees at the Lawrence County Solid Waste Management Authority at the top. I'd put them with anybody in the state, anybody in the country. They are good and dedicated to what they do, and they're good at what they do. These guys are out here, they're doing a job that a lot of people think they don't want because they're dealing with garbage every day. But it's more than just garbage. I told somebody, a new employee that came to work with us, I said, you're not running a dump. You're not working at a dump. You're working at a landfill. And the landfill is not just while it is a disposal site, it's actually a construction project, but it's a 100+ year construction project. So I equate it to building the pyramids. You know, that's, you know, you look at what you're doing, I said, and we're building something, and if you don't build it properly, it's not gonna last.
Yeah.
And so the guys out there are very well trained, they're very well dedicated, and we have an awful lot of experience. We have about 5, I think there's 5 employees out of 14 or 16 employees. We have 5 that have over 25 years at our landfill, not just in landfill, but at our landfill. I have 20 years, and there's 3 or 4 more of us, you know, that have 20+ years. So we have a vast amount of experience at the landfill, and we are conscientious about what we do. And I would put my people up against anybody's.
And they're making a difference.
Yes, they are.
They're making a difference because
Absolutely.
we started out this conversation talking about some communities, they don't even have a 1-year plan out there. And I know you know who they are, and it don't matter who they are, but we're sitting here striving to be 110 years.
That's right.
And when you get there, or when you get to 107, you're going to want to go, y'all keep stretching it and keep stretching it. So
That's right.
well, you got to get it to 150 now before you retire.
Well, if we're going to get it to 150 before I retire, we better get it quick.
Better jump on it.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, brother. I always enjoy talking to you. And,
Thank you for having us.
Yes, sir. We got more people coming up. Stay with us. We'll be back right after this.
Hi, I'm Greg Carter with Shamrock Honda Kawasaki CF Moto. Come check out our full lineup of ATVs, side-by-sides, and motorcycles. We serve Dublin, Lawrence, and Central Georgia areas, and we'd love to serve you.
I'm Heath Richter, and we just want to invite everybody to come on down to the Houston Clinic and check us out at our new facility. We've been in Dublin for a while now, obviously, but have a new office here, and we'd just like you to come down and see some of the new stuff we're offering. And if you need to get checked out, we'd be glad to do that for you. We've got able to do some ultrasound guided injections now, and physical therapy, and just a little bit better space. So hopefully we can get you in and out of here a little bit quicker.
Come by and see us today at our brand new location, the Houston Clinic, Medical Drive in Dublin.
Welcome back, everybody. I have with me now David Paul and Michael Snipes. He was talking to me this morning on the phone about you. James, you got to talk to this guy. You got to talk to this guy. Tell our viewers exactly what you do.
Okay. Well, good morning. My name is David Paul. I'm the Chief Impact Officer of Compost Now and co-founder, and I am also the board chair of the Georgia Composting Council. The Georgia Composting Council is a newly formed nonprofit organization in the state of Georgia to promote the composting industry. And composting is the cycling of organic material into a usable soil amendment that we can use in agriculture, and has many benefits to our community. And really the Georgia Composting Council exists to make composting more accessible within our state.
And whose idea was this? I think it's a great idea to get the nonprofits together, and you get around like-minded people. That's where you learn at. But where did that come from? Whose idea?
Yeah, I think the Georgia composting community has been growing for a long time. I've been working on it for about 14 years, but prior to that, there are many others that have been in the state working on composting. Agriculture is a big industry within our state. So along with that comes the need for farmers to have access to quality soil amendments. Yeah. So the industry's been there for a long time, but I think as composting has matured as an industry, things like the United States Composting Council has really done a lot nationally to promote composting, and that has kind of stemmed over into the opportunity for there to be state chapters. And that is what the Georgia Composting Council is. We were the 15th state chapter in the United States of the U.S. Compost Council. Wow. And we were, again, started 2 years ago by a group of folks out of the Georgia Recycling Coalition and SWANA, Georgia. The Solid Waste Association of North America has a chapter here in Georgia. So those organizations really saw the need within the landscape of waste management to think about composting as a solution.
Yeah. So I'm curious, what got you in this line of work?
I grew up in a rural community in Wisconsin. My grandfather was a farmer, a dairy farmer. So I was around families and friends' farms growing up and had that influence. And then when I moved to Georgia for college, I got very interested in agriculture myself and found my way to composting, because if you have a farm, you've got to have good soil, and the basis of that can be compost.
All goes together, don't it?
It does, yeah.
So tell our viewers why it's so important to follow the rules. We were talking a while ago. I was asking Michael about cell phone batteries. A lot of people just throw them in the trash can, end up at the landfill, start fires, things that we just need to know. If you educate people, most of the people will fall in, because you want a better community. And that sounds like a lot of what got you into this. You see the need for it. But tell our viewers why this is important for all of us to work together.
I think many of us, we all have waste. You know, it's something that we interact with daily, but a lot of it is a out of sight, out of mind mentality where we throw it in a bin and it goes somewhere. But if you think about what's going into that waste stream and learn that over 50% of what we throw in our garbage bin is compostable, meaning we can compost that material and turn that into a usable soil amendment for our local farmers. I think that simple fact lends itself to get more people excited about it. It's common sense, whether you live in a rural environment or an urban environment. Being resourceful and using the resources that we have in a smart way, I think that's something everyone can get behind.
And leave less of a footprint.
Yeah.
And your recycling's been around for a while, but for some reason, and I was thinking, while Michael was talking a while ago, we have different bins in our recycling center. We've got probably 15 around the county, but you know, you see people throwing cardboard over in the, you know, one of them, and cardboard should be compressed and put in that cardboard bin because it is totally recyclable and you could take it and reuse it. But what is it going to take? Where do you see yourself beating your head against the wall to try to get us, me, y'all, everybody that we're talking to now, where are you beating your head against the wall at?
I think it starts with awareness, education. So the more people that learn about this solution, the more people that can participate in it. So I think that's first and foremost. But once people are participating, one of the biggest challenges is getting people to put the right thing in the right bin. And we know that that's complicated because we're all moving fast. We all look at what's in our hand and we say, does it go in the recycling? Does it go in the trash? It's hard to figure out. It should be easier. I think compost can be quite easy because if it was at one time living, it can be composted. Right. And that's a simple way to think about it is, you know, plastic is obviously not compostable, aluminum's not compostable, those are recyclable things. But compost is simple for people to understand, and especially if you have a home garden and you use this material to grow some delicious tomatoes, then it really starts to connect home and the value of it.
Okay, let's just do a quick synopsis here of our typical garbage we have in our house. We all got a trash can over there, and we're just putting everything in it. You know, food that's not any good anymore, and milk jugs. So those everyday things, Coca-Cola cans, on and on. Which one of these? Just run down several items. What is composting?
Yeah, so compost material, again, is anything that was previously growing. So in your household, that is your apple cores, your banana peels, your coffee grounds, tea bags, meat bones and dairy, all of those items. You know, you eat your dinner and you have some things left over on, maybe it's chicken bones or maybe it's the peel of a potato. That's all material that can be composted, including all of your paper material that doesn't have like glossy ink on it. Wow. So your newspapers, your cardboard, even if it's shredded up, pizza boxes, all these materials are compostable. And then if you think about it at a community scale, or in the sense of you're mowing your lawn and now you have grass clippings that you've potentially collected, or you have leaves falling in the fall, or wood chips from a tree that you've taken down. All of that material is compostable because it was a living plant at a certain time. So you mix all those ingredients together and it biologically decomposes into healthy compost.
Well, and my wife, she'd be a good sidekick for you. She's even we use K-cups, but she's got a little trash can down by the Keurig, and we have to put all our K-cups in there because we can use the ingredients in there, that coffee, hanging baskets, things like that. I said, that ain't enough to matter, but every little bit does matter, don't it?
It does, yeah. I think that's the thing that everyone needs to remember is that even though it may seem like a small thing that you can do, it adds up when we're all collectively doing it.
Yeah, amen. And that is a great point. You know, we all do this together and educate each other. You're watching this today. When you go to church Sunday, tell your friends, tell your Sunday school class. The more educated we become, and I told you a while ago before you come on, Michael, I couldn't believe it, I've known him for years, taught me things I had no idea. So, you know, we always learn growing up, you got 2 ears and 1 mouth, what should you do the most of. So that's really good stuff. Before we go, is there anything else you think that you need to tell our viewers?
I would just say that y'all are already off to a great start. You have an amazing resource here in Dublin with the Lawrence County operation. So composting is already here in your community. So let's just make more happen.
Okay, thank you, brother.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, stay with us. We'll be back right after this.
If you're wondering when the best time to buy a new car is, it's right now. Hi, this is Don Carswell at Dublin Nissan in Dublin, Georgia, and the best day to buy a new car is every day. So whether you're looking at the all-new Murano, a brand new 2025 Versa, or you're looking for a great deal on a Z, we have all the choices here at Dublin Nissan every day. And now's the time to take advantage of all new discounted pricing on new Rogues and Pathfinders. We sell cars well every day at Dublin Nissan.
It's Kubota Orange Days, now through June 30th. Get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,000 off select compact tractors.
Take advantage of Midstate Tractor's Orange Days with 0% financing, 0 down for 84 months right now on select Kubota L Series tractors.
Welcome back, everybody. I have with me now Lena, Sassoni, and Michael had introduced you to me a little earlier today, and I'd asked a question during my interview with him about what agency oversees him. Well, I didn't know you was in the building, but it was all good. It's just we all need checkpoints. You know, we all need, because we want to do the right thing, but sometimes, as humans, we do something wrong and we need somebody to help us. And that's where you come in, isn't it?
Yeah, that's where we come in. So I'm with the Department of Natural Resources Environmental Protection Division, and in the Land Protection branch of that division, we regulate anything and everything solid and hazardous waste. So in the case of the Lawrence County Solid Waste Management Authority, where Michael Snipes operates the landfill there, so we oversee that through regulatory permits. And these are state regulatory permits. And what's really interesting about the Lawrence County operation is their component of the organics program, the organics diversion program. So they are able to take on food waste and additional materials, compost them, and divert that material from the landfill, which is a huge benefit to the landfill's capacity. So landfills, as we build them up, they tend to get full. And what studies have shown over time is that organics make up about 25 to 30% of that landfill space. And that is also a contribute not only to how full the landfill gets, but also contributes to the gases and impact to air quality as well. So it's really great that Lawrence County has this sort of operation. And we're always thrilled anytime we see Michael and his team come up with a new project. So outside of the regulatory space, my program also offers a recycling and waste diversion grant, and that's funded through Georgia's Solid Waste Trust Fund, which comes from a $1 fee on new replacement tires in Georgia.
Yeah.
So that goes into the Solid Waste Trust Fund, and we have a Solid Waste Trust Fund grant program. And part of that program, we have the Recycling and Waste Diversion Grant. Well, Lawrence County is now a 2-time recipient of that grant. So they were awarded in our state fiscal year 2023, as well as this current grant cycle that we're just wrapping up. And that's really where we've seen them be able to expand on their organics diversion program.
What area do you cover?
The whole state.
Okay.
Yeah. So I worked throughout the whole state.
Wow. So with that said, where do we stand? We know we've got a 100-year landfill, and Michael wants to get to 110. You know, you're always reaching, you keep reaching higher and higher. So where do we in Lawrence County? I don't want you to call names or nothing, but versus other parts of the state, where do we rank in there?
Well, in terms of landfill capacity, that does not fall under my side of the operations, because what I focus in is in waste diversion, right? But I will tell you that this is, in Lawrence County, it is the only public authority that has this type of waste diversion program in Middle Georgia. So there are lots of folks who divert leaf and limb, but we do not see, at least in this part of the state, there's only a handful. But in this part of the state, Lawrence County is definitely the leader in organics diversion, as well as other materials.
And he's got a great team of people.
Yes.
They've assembled an incredible team.
Yes.
And as I was saying to Michael a while ago, you're only as good as your people. I don't care what line of work you're in, because I tell people all the time, I need all the help I can get. We need people working with us. What's the best part of your job?
Oh, the best part of my job is definitely working, at the state level and utilizing the funds that we, get to administer to help build local programs. And what is great about our Solid Waste Trust Fund grant program is that we allow, in Georgia we have 159 counties. Yeah. And those 159 counties operate differently, every single one. So we are able to allow each local government, county or cities, to let us know what they need in their community for the grant program. So in Lawrence County, we want to grow organics diversion because you have that amazing program here. But for example, in other counties, they we have another county Dodge County, who was looking at just starting a cardboard collection process. So we were able to award them as well. So it's really just what does each local entity need and how can we help them?
And do you share idea, like if you learn something how Michael and his team do, or Dodge County, whatever, I hope you would share that with other people to make them better. Do you do things like that?
We do. So we do publish an annual Solid Waste Trust Fund report, and that report is shared to our website, and it does highlight the projects. We also list all of the projects awarded on our website as well. And we hold an annual kickoff meeting for the grant program around August. And we will always share examples with folks and let them know of what projects were successful and help them answer questions.
Well, like you said, 159 counties.
Yes.
Florida's got 67, so
right.
that tells you, and they're bigger than we are. But how do you do that? I mean, you've got a massive responsibility. How often do you come to Lawrence County?
Lawrence County, well, when I was in the field more, well, no, when I was in the field more, I was coming through here about once a month. Now I'm not in the field as much, so I will, most of what I do will be online through meetings. But yeah, we try to do as much outreach as possible. We also are looking, to soon partner with ACCG and GMA to reach those in the local governments a little bit better this year, because it is a lot. And I have a team of 5 who focus in this area. So we have, a permitting engineer, and then we have a permitting manager, and then we also have a team of grant specialists as well.
So you got a great team.
We do.
So other than you came here to talk to me on TV today, other than that, what was the purpose of this trip today?
Okay, yeah. So today I was here to share with the Georgia Compost Council and educate them on specific to our compost permits and our regulations for the state of Georgia. So we really want to reach out to everybody who is interested in any kind of waste diversion project or operation in the state, and specifically organics with the Georgia Compost Council. So really through getting the Compost Council off the ground in Georgia and helping to educate anyone interested in compost operations in Georgia. So, we're seeing an increase of folks who are interested in diverting organics from the solid waste stream, and that's exactly what we want to see at Georgia EPD. We do not want that material going into a landfill if it can be composted and reused and help to build healthy soils in the state.
Yeah, totally agree, and that's why things like this is important to me, because we want a better community, and we're the ones that can change that.
Yes.
We're the ones that can help that landfill go to 110, 120 years, just being responsible.
Yes.
And some of the things, the other two that I've talked to, and you were behind the camera, you could hear, and I've learned, I could not believe it. I thought I knew most about what we do at the landfill, but just listen to Michael talk about phone batteries and things like that.
Yeah.
But when you come into a community, municipality, do you have a checklist that you go in and check certain things?
Yes, so our compliance inspectors do site visits and inspections on a routine basis of any regulated facility. So once a solid waste, any kind of solid waste operation, and that could be a landfill, it could be a standalone compost facility, it could be the compost facility at the landfill, it could be a standalone recycling facility, what we call material recovery facility. And so the compliance inspectors go out on a routine basis and they conduct inspections, and they do work through our state regulations and make sure that that facility is in compliance. If they do see anything that's not in compliance, they will, obviously work with the operators to bring them back into compliance. So.
And what are the main things? I know not an exhaustive list, but what are some of the top things that is on that checklist?
So a lot of things which will, in the recycling world, because that's really, waste diversion world, I can speak to a little better. What we'll see, and again, this is more, I would say like 95% of folks are always doing the right thing, right? Mm-hmm. And there may just be something a little off. So, and that again comes with them knowing their permit. They know what they need to do, right? And we do work with them to educate them. But if we see anything like that, it could be like materials are maybe stored too long, or maybe they're over here and not in accordance with the design of their plan. But yeah, so, and we always work with folks to bring them back into compliance.
And last thing, is there something that you could share with our viewers, some small things, because listening to Darryl a while ago, if we all do our part, when you put all that together, we've got almost 50,000 citizens. If we're all in the lockstep, we're going to have a better community, and that landfill is going to grow.
Right.
But what tip or tips could you share with us so we could do a better job at this?
Yeah, I'd say at an individual, at a family level, the most important thing is really going to be to educate yourself on what is accepted in your area for recycling. Obviously, here in Lawrence County, you have this amazing resource of having an amazing organics diversion program, right? And being able to divert that food waste. So just really paying attention to where things go, making sure you're putting the right thing in. Because the number one issue that we see in the recycling world is contamination. And contamination meaning like plastic bags that go in with all their recycling, or plastic or something like that that goes in with the food waste. We don't want to see anything like that, just the organic material itself.
And those darn plastic bags.
I know.
Whoever
They fly
solves
around.
that,
Yeah.
my favorite is when I try to dodge them, but you see a car run over one and it don't go nowhere. It goes up on the manifold.
Yes.
The next thing you smell something burning. So they're a
Yeah.
nuisance.
They
They're
are.
a nuisance everywhere.
Everywhere, yes. Outside, on the road, and in the recycle bin.
And I said that was the last question, but you made me think of something. That is, what got you in this line of work?
Oh, yeah. So interesting enough, I was at Georgia. I was in the forestry school at Georgia, and my background's in wildlife management, which I did that for some years. And in Athens, I wanted to stick around a bit longer and was able to get a job with the federal EPA and worked there for a while. And that's really how I got into the environmental protection side of things. And I've worked with several different agencies in Florida and Georgia. And when I came back, I saw the job opening in recycling and grants, and I applied for it. So I am fairly new to this space because most of the people in the state of Georgia have decades of experience in recycling and waste diversion. And I've been working since 2018 in this space.
Wow.
But yeah, it's great. Everyone is just really passionate about not filling up our landfills. And I got the bug of waste diversion, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, you're very knowledgeable, there's no doubt. But I appreciate you talking to me.
Yeah, thank you.
Right,
It was
thank you.
great.